this is well known to be the number one way to spend way too much money.
And he is like a really like fast like delay thing going on sometimes. So
they had a pedal that they couldn't show us because we were public, which was kind of cool. That we were like, oh shit, what's that with the blanket over it? You know.
I remember he actually said, "You're not supposed to see that." That was so funny.
Welcome everyone. This is part 2 to Naked Giants' interview. We're doing the gear rundown real quick. We have a special guest, Jimmy Mercado from Favor. He's going to help co-host this episode. We're going to talk or ask some fan questions real quick that were gear related. Sam Briggs 33 says, Grant, where the hell did you get your guitars? The Melody Maker and SG3 are so rare and so nice.
I got that. So it's a good story because I just got back my 1965 Helen Blue Melody Maker SG. 2 pickups that was stolen from me out of my car 5 years ago and it just turned up. I got it back, so that's a breath off of everybody's shoulders. And I love it to death. It's beautiful. I love it. And the red one was actually, my dad, even though I was the idiot who left it in my car, my dad felt so bad for me that he, and he's just the best, that he bought me that red one off eBay. And then I became obsessed with the fact that I knew there existed in the world a 12-string version of the Melody Maker. So eventually I stumbled on one and actually no, it's also my dad as a Christmas gift when I was younger. I was like, because I'd had enough guitars, I was like, Dad, there's nothing I want for Christmas unless find the 12-string version, which I thought just would be impossible. I just didn't assume it would ever show up. And then he found one, which I thought was amazing. So it's just sitting in a closet, but that's where I got all those. Emerald City guitars for the one that got stolen in Seattle, which is great. And then my dad found the other 2 on eBay because my dad's a boss.
Nice.
Okay, this comes from _Grey Torade_. What was your biggest inspiration instrumentally on The Shadow?
Probably that silver meditation bell that they had in there. To speak literally on an instrument.
Yeah, that's funny, that bell. It's just like a spinning bell that kind of resembles a Buddha, I suppose, with its spinning, and it makes the spinning kind of changes the frequency and how it's sounding. But we had the idea of putting it on every song.
What?
It's like
sadly we never did.
I don't think we ever did. It's like this, it's like this big piece of brass that you hit with like a mallet, like a concert mallet, and it will just spin and it'll linger. You can as long as it doesn't touch anything to cause it to mute, it's so trippy, to just sit in a quiet room and have it just ring out. And I think it was a B. I think it was a high B. We figured it out.
What did it? I think it made it onto television. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it's on something.
Oh, nice.
It's on television somewhere.
It was going to be a cool through line where it would contextualize the different key of every song, because you'd be like, oh, that's that B again.
Right.
This song is lower than the B, or matches the B, or is higher than the B.
We'll have to do it for the next one.
Oh, you will. Yeah, but other than that, I don't know about you guys. I can't really think of any particular instrumental influences. I just was focusing really hard to play the songs.
Their vocabulary might have been what was important in the I think instrumental was just the word they used.
Oh yeah.
It sounded like they meant who or what inspired us for what we played instrumentally. You know what I mean?
Okay.
That's what I thought.
And for that
I gotcha.
I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of influence that goes into the writing section. But once we get into the studio, it's almost like a forgetting process where it's all right, now nothing else exists outside of these walls. You know what I mean? And it's what can we do with the tools that we have, with the people that are here, to make something that sounds listenable. And yeah, so I'm pretty sure that's where my head was at. I remember during the recording process, we went to a show in Portland where the studio was, and Post Animal was playing with the band Ohm, who's also from Chicago. And I remember hearing them. I was like, oh, wow, this is a really cool sound. Because they don't have a bassist, it's 2 guitarists and a drummer. And the way they use their like guitar effects was really like, this is an effect. And like, this is the sound of the song. And I thought that was a really neat way of going about it. So I'm pretty sure that was like halfway through the recording process. Came back to the studio and was like, how can I do something that's like in that kind of vein? So shout out to Ohm.
I don't exactly remember Evan's question, but I can mildly remember it. But it had to do with Slow Dance 2. He was wondering what like the process was, kind of like the sound that you went in that song, because that's more like kind of a 50s, like 60s-ish vibey tune.
Henry and Johnny had literally written it to be a 50s vibe song.
It was called 50s song for a long
yeah, it
time.
literally was called, like, working title was 50s song. And then they just had, I think you guys just had like that little bass line, the boom, doom, boom. And that was like the 50s vibe. And then we all got together and, you know, me being like this blues background when I was a teenager, obviously I'm going to go like, you know, like riff. And then the chorus came. Yeah, I think it was, so like it wasn't really a decision. It was more like, not a joke, but like a random thing you guys did. And then we made it a song.
You know, the live shows when we're playing to 8 people, it's like, what would be fun at this moment? And that's kind of like how a lot of the decision-making process went back then. But as is typical for pretty much anything I write, I was ripping it off, especially the chorus from James Brown, I Don't Mind. And that the very intro is I don't mind, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And so I ripped that off for the chorus, and I hope James Brown doesn't mind that we ripped it off.
Well, we can start getting into like showing off some of y'all's gear. Henry, I think if you want to go first and show off some stuff, maybe.
I would love to.
We got a question from Sarda Jowa something saying, what snare and cymbals does Henry use?
Get started here. First of all, I use Vic Firth 5Bs, beefy, ready to lay into the groove with those baddies. No, these guys. Sorry, those are the practice ones, which are pretty cool. I like Istanbuls. I'm starting to get really into Istanbuls. Now, I am not sponsored, even though I've tried sending a few emails to no avail. That's okay though. Now I get to try a bunch of different things, which is another open door.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have a Ludwig Super Phonics 6.5-inch deep, beautiful, from the 70s. Gorgeous. This thing sounds like studio ready all the time. Got some nice pure sound brass on there. That's about 2 inches thick there. Ambassador snare side on the bottom. I like an Ambassador coated on top. The Diplomat is like the thinnest snare head, as you know. So the Emperor is the thickest. So I like clear. I like Emperors on the toms, and I like an Ambassador on my snare. Here's my touring cymbals. Oh gee, I'll do this one. So I just got this one for the new record. It's in Istanbul Sultan Ride. 18 inches. This thing is sick. This one's just on the new demos here. But it's like a tiny ride and it sounds beautiful. Okay, next one. This one's great. I got this in Vancouver. It's like a Zildjian rip. It's a Canadian Zildjian rip by Zilco from Canada. That's hilarious. It actually has a really cool PC. It's really etched in there, but it's a nice sizzle ride. I like that one between my hi-hat and snare drum, so it's like a crash. But I like how it lingers. Big into the presence there, you know? There's only one of me, so I gotta make a lot of noise. Here is the magic of the Naked Giants choruses. This is the HHX Shimmering 75, 22-inch, beautiful bell. I got it in Nashville, Tennessee, at what is it called? It's like Forks Drum Shop. It's a big one down there. But that's the HHX. Love that. Looks hand hammered on top. Okay, and then yeah, here are my hats. So the hats will kind of change. These guys are really good. They're just some like these are like vintage Zildjians, kind of like jazz hats. So they're a bit lighter in tone and weight.
Yeah.
And our dear friend and British tour manager Gavin Poole told us, "Hey, your cymbals are really bright. Look, do you have any gaffer tape? I need some gaffer tape and put it on the bottom there, and it will kind of get rid of the highs. So if the tape is on the outside, then it really mutes it. If it's on closer to the bell, it's just a light mute." And we use that. I use that all the time. I love it. I think it works really, really good. This guy's got a few, like, you know.
Nice. That's a good hack.
Well, it's a great hack. And then I love a crack cymbal. I mean, if you can hang on to that for dear life. Sometimes the crack is too much, but sometimes the crack is perfect. And it can actually add like a nice kind of dirty underground. You know, I feel like there's that vine of like this like totally square white woman being like, "This is how you do hip hop." Or she's like, "I'll be your freestyle dance teacher."
Yeah.
VHS. It's like a vine, and then
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
like doing all this like druggy dance, just hilarious. And I feel like that with like cymbals, like rip your cymbal, break it, and you'll get that great 808 sample that's used on that one, you know, Most Def song. You know, who knows? But anyway, I mean, you really can like recreate drum sounds with these beautiful acoustic instruments we know as drums.
How many kits do you have?
I have the one that we tour with,
Yeah.
which is Slingerland Kick 24 WFL rack 14, and then 16 by 16 Ludwig 4-tom. Beautiful. That's the one kit that I tour with, and then there's the painted kit that I'm renting out to a student right now.
Aw.
And then there's a kit that is a bunch of our good friend Aidan Sakakini, hailing from just south of London. He does a lot of wonderful sketch work.
The stencils and all that I saw.
Yes, yeah. So he those are all nude live models that he has sketched with in classes. He leads before the pandemic was leading a lot of classes. They tried it online. I don't know if they still do. They might. Anyway, that's Exhibit Aiden on the Instagrams, or Aiden Saka. I think that's it. I think I just have 3 to my, you know, I got 2 to my name, and then I got the Naked Giants. We got the Naked Giants one here.
Who wants to go next?
Yeah, I could show you guys really quick. My
Oh, yeah.
favorite acoustic. 1963 Gibson Hummingbird. Beautiful tone. Haven't changed the strings in years. Really deep, rich, earthy. Just great. Earthy tone. Love it. That's my favorite acoustic. Other than my Goya, which I knocked over when I'd had a couple beers when we were in the studio. It wasn't that I knocked it over in a bad way because of that. It would just happen to be that I was just like in there late, like playing with a synth, and I randomly bumped it in like the slightest way, and the way that it fell happened to crack the whole headstock off. So I have to get it fixed, but it's not beyond repair. So anyway, those are my acoustics that I love.
There was one for you and Grant saying favorite guitar and bass pedal.
That's kind of changing. For the longest time, it was the Rainbow Machine, which has been. That was one of the first. I think that was the first pedal I ever used with Naked Giants, and it's been on my pedal board ever since.
I feel like that was like your staple pedal for a while too.
Definitely. And it was out of a need for like, since there's only 3 of us, it was all about like, all right, how can we like fill up as much sonic space as possible?
Of
And
course.
what the Rainbow Machine is really good at is like doing that, You can just turn it on and it'll just kind of go until you tell it to stop, and sometimes even then it doesn't stop. So yeah, that's been my favorite for a while. Grant, we were just talking about favorite pedals. Do you have a favorite pedal?
I have a couple that are broken. I've had a few pedals that have been broken for like years. It's really hard to get pedals fixed, especially vintage ones. You can't send them back to the manufacturer. Like, it's hard to find people in your area who know how to fix those circuits and identify the issues. So I have like a vintage Electro-Harmonix delay, not the ones that everybody knows, but it's this particular chip they had in the early 2000s. Favorite delay, I also love Ibanez AD9, the pink, the older ones. Pink delays. And then I do love my Space Spiral by Earthquaker.
Nice.
Yep.
I also love my Strymon Deco. That was the advice of Henry's dad to get. It's just a great tape saturation overdrive style, like tape saturation overdrive, and then it also has a flange / slapback in it.
Yeah.
And
I feel like this is his pedal board now that Henry's grabbing. I feel like you've had this Soundwave breakdown for a while.
Yeah.
In the top.
I have. That's actually my second one because the other one's broken and is in my basement. And this is my second one, and it sounds so much different than my first one, but I love it. It's something you find about pedals that some of them sound really, really different depending on the version you buy. Like, that's what you get with boutique pedal making, I think, is that each circuit ends up with its own.
Gianni, you want to show off some more of your stuff?
Yeah, I'll just go kind of quickly. This is the bass that I've been touring with and recording with for the past couple of years. I think we got it in the beginning of 2018, maybe.
That was the Hoppy tour, which was 2017.
Oh, okay, it was 2017.
With Ron Gallo, it was the winter tour.
Yeah, I remember it was winter. But yeah, we were touring in Providence, Rhode Island, and there was this like. Spill your sunflower seeds?
They're sticky. I didn't spill them.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there's this pawn or like a guitar shop in the back of a pawn shop in Providence, Rhode Island. I can't remember what it's called. It's like Emerald Guitars or something like that. And we found this there, and it was $1,000, and that was like really expensive. And I remember we were talking to Hoppy, who was our tour manager at the time, and I was like, man, like, this bass is calling to me. You don't understand. Like, do we have enough money, like, as a band to get this? And he was like, I don't know, man. Like, see if you can talk them down to 900, and if not, we're leaving it. We tried. They wouldn't budge, and I was like, Hoppy, I understand you're looking out for us. Let's just pool our money and like let's go for it, because this is gonna stay with us for years.
So you're saying you used the Naked Giants band fund to get
so this bass is technically owned by the band. Like, we bought it with the band money.
That's good.
Same with Henry's drum kit.
Same with my drum kit and cymbals. It's like a band.
We have like
expense.
When we were first getting serious, we made an LLC. So Naked Giants has its own like bank account.
Nice.
That
Important.
when we have enough money, we give like ourselves a cut of it. Right now, it's just its own entity, and we're fending for ourselves. But yeah, so this is technically owned by the band. But yeah, it's a Guild B301.
It's a B3.
And it sounds like a bass.
Have you just like worn down the pick guard from playing it so much?
So it was originally black, and I painted it red, but with some like, it's just acrylic paint, so it's been chipping off ever since, which I thought looked like really sloppy and bad, but people have said like, wow, that looks really cool and rock and roll, so I'm sticking with that.
You should show them the action.
Oh yeah. So it's really like, I don't know what's happened. I've brought it into a couple of guitar stores and they've been confused about it because the action on this thing, I don't know if you'll be able to see this, is like, maybe, there we go. It's like ridiculously high.
Damn, I can see that from here.
I can feel that with my finger.
Try to press that down and it's not easy. Apparently the wood of the actual neck is like bent. I took it into a shop. They tried their darndest and they were like, I'm sorry, we can't do anything about this. So that's just kind of the way it is.
Do you have any problems like with intonation or anything like that? Because you guys are playing in a different tuning. I don't know if you want to mention that.
Yeah, we play in D standard, so all the strings are tuned down a whole step. Sorry, I just got out of breath standing up.
You were scratching.
I was squatting.
Yeah.
But actually, yeah, we do have some terrible intonation problems that I'd never really cared about because, you know, it's like rock music. But I remember when we went into the studio with Chris Funk, who produced the Shadow. And I remember we were playing, and he was like, "Can you guys decide like who's in tune and who's not?" And I was like, "No, like this is just kind of how it goes. Like I play an open E and it's in tune, and then I play an A and it's like now we're in a different tuning." So,
Grant, what'd you bring in?
Oh, this is just my modular rig.
Okay.
Just, you know, in case anybody cares. You
You
know,
open that puppy up.
got some
Yeah.
modules in it. You use cables and fucking shred, and I just thought, you know, if we're talking gas, gear acquisition syndrome, this is well known to be the number one way to spend way too much money.
Yep. Definitely.
So I'm not buying any more of these.
I just sold a pedal to a guy off of Facebook, and he was saying that he's just getting into modulars, and I was like, "Oh yeah, what's your experience with it?" He's like, "Don't ever do this." It's the worst decision I ever made because like it's just you can never stop.
Yeah. It's endless, and you always need one more module to do what you want to do. You feel limited. And then once you finally get all the modules, you're like, I want to like now I need those limitations. It's just, yeah. But it's really fun.
Oh, I should say too, behind me is my amp setup, and Orange, that's a Orange Obi-Wan 500, which sounds like Obi-Wan. They gave us an artist deal on that amp, which I was so grateful for because, as you know, Orange is like sounds really great, but also comes at a great price. So
Definitely.
I was very fortunate that we were able to become an artist ambassador, is how they call it. So I think we're on their website too. Like there's a picture of me like.
Yep. I'm going to get a rock reverb at some point with the same deal, but unfortunately just like financially right around the time that we got the deal and everything, it just didn't make sense. And now this happened. So once we're making money again, I'll get a rock reverb. But for now, I got my, it's in the corner there. You don't need to see it. You've seen one a million times. It's just a Hot Rod Deluxe I've been playing because it's reliable. Sounds pretty good. Yeah, I used to play Music Mans. They're also cool, but they break a lot. So.
That's what I've heard from Ty Siegel. That's what.
Oh, did you say that? Yeah, they break.
Yeah.
I like to play those.
What cab are you running through it right now?
These are both SWR. There's a 410 on the top and a 115 on the bottom. And yeah, that's just kind of what I landed on. You know, like they work. So I don't want to buy another cab.
I don't even want to take it out of the store.
Oh yeah, they're super heavy.
All right. Well, Gianni, you want to go into the pedal board maybe?
Oh yeah, Pedal Land. One of my favorite lands. Yeah, this has been my thank you thing for the past couple years. Every once in a while I'll change out like a distortion or fuzz or whatever, but like pretty much this is it. It's kind of weird. Most people put the tuner like in the very beginning, but this just I wanted to like cram as much shit as I could
Yeah.
So this is just kind of how it worked out. It starts out, there's a Pigtronics. This is like just an overdrive that sounds pretty good. This is a compressor, a JHS Pulp and Peel compressor, which I don't know. Compression, I don't know if you really need it, but like it sounds good, so why take it off? There's the tuner, and then into a Rat distortion, which anytime people see that, they're like, oh, I didn't know you could use Rat on bass. But I think it sounds really gnarly and nasty, especially when you put the other overdrive on into the Rat, then it turns into like a weird kind of like fuzz that just doesn't, it doesn't really know how to hang on to notes, and it sounds really cool. And also, the good thing about the Rat is that it feeds back really easily. Like, it's just got that kind of frequency that makes it go, which is kind of like a staple in the Naked Giants live shows. This is a DOD flanger that has seen better days. It makes it sound like Wiggle Woggle, which is what I wrote on the pedal. And that's also featured on Turns Blue. The bass sound is just...
We'll have to have you play that in a little bit.
Yeah, totally. That's basically the sound of this. Then there's the Rainbow Machine, which does all kinds of wacky goodness. If it's set right, sometimes it even plays itself. Like, you just turn it on. And there it goes. There's another Earthquaker Devices. This is their phaser. It's called the Grand Orbiter. And this is the old version. They made a new one that's like skinnier. This is a delay pedal by Caroline Guitars. It's called Kilobyte, and it's like a lo-fi kind of thing. But what's cool about it is, I don't know. What's kind of cool about it is you can hold this down, and then it goes forever until you let it go, which is kind of fun. And then this is a new addition that our friend Jesus, who lives in Colorado, we met him at like this radio festival gig that we played in Boulder, I think. And sorry, you can't see my face. We met him at this radio festival we played in Boulder, and he's just a super, super nice guy. And he's come out to Seattle, and we've hung out a few times. But earlier this year, he said, "Hey, I have this pedal that I don't use. Do you want it?" And I was like, "Yes, of course. That would be so cool." And he sent it to me. It's a Walrus Audio ARP 87 delay. And it just sounds so cool. And it's been on my board ever since. So thank you so much, Jesus. Like, that was the coolest gift I've had in a while.
That's awesome. Wow.
board.
Yeah.
Looks sick.
Didn't you go to like Earthquaker's headquarters?
Yeah, we
thing one time?
did. We were on tour, and we were passing through Akron, and we knew that that's where their factory was. And, they were kind enough to give us a little tour. And my Rainbow Machine was like super beaten up and was missing a bunch of knobs. And they fixed it up for me, and they were super cool. Yeah, that was a great experience.
Yeah, it was like, as far as gearheads are concerned, kind of like going into Willy Wonka's chocolate factory.
I was just about to say that.
Definitely.
It was like, like an old building from like the the interior looked like it was like 2002 in there, and it was just like white and clean, and there was just people just like Oompa Loompas just
On the
working
workstations.
at desks. Yeah. And they had a pedal that they couldn't show us because we were public, which was kind of cool that we were like, oh shit, what's that with the blanket over it,
And I remember he actually said, you're not supposed to see that. That was so funny.
Do you know which one it was now, or?
Yeah, it ended up, yeah, it was their Aqueduct Vibrato.
Oh, nice.
That they released last year, and they released it on my birthday. And so I was like, all right. I mean, I saw it in the shop before it was ready. It comes out on my birthday. So I treated myself to that. And that's a pretty cool one. It was on the board for a while, but now it stays at home because I can use it on my recordings at home.
But yeah, let's get you playing some of these songs and showing how you get these amazing sounds on the records.
Oh yeah. Anything you want to hear first?
I think we can do Turns Blue since we brought it up a while ago.
Yeah, totally. So that one, I just knew that like I wanted it to sound like the 80s, and well, it's flanger. So that's clean, right?
Yeah.
A little boring. You throw the flanger on there. And what I like about the flanger as opposed to a chorus is like it's a little less like symmetrical and predictable.
Mhm.
Do you know what I mean? It
Yeah.
kind of sounds like it bubbles for a second and then it's like smooth, and then it bubbles and then it's smooth. So I like that. And yeah, that's pretty much all that goes into that. And the chorus is live. I put a bunch of distortion on, but I won't blow up your ears quite right now.
Jimmy, you got any?
What are like some effects for when the drum solo's going on, like green fuzz, that you like would do on the bass to like fill in like that space?
Totally. That's a good one. It's something that I'm always like experimenting with and trying to find new sounds for. The classic would be the Rainbow Machine, all that kind of ambient stuff. But I've found that doing the harmonics, like that kind of stuff, and like swelling up with the volume knob with some distortion maybe, and some phaser maybe, and some delay maybe, that kind of stuff sounds really cool. I'll show you an example real quick. I just gotta change my setting.
Look at this guy changing his settings.
This guy.
Get a load of this.
So first of
great.
all, just that ambient noise sounds kind of cool, but then you add these little harmonics. And then there,
Sounds
and
like
then
whales.
yeah, and then there you change the delay time while
Yeah.
it's ringing out, and it kind of goes. And so that's the kind of stuff that I do if I want to communicate, like, all right, now we're kind of like floating in space while Henry's drumming away down from Earth, and you can still hear him, but you're, trillions of miles away.
Yeah, that's great. What I do during the same period, although I can't exemplify because I couldn't be in the space tonight, I just turn my space spiral, just the Earthquaker one.
Oh yeah.
Feedback all the way up, and then I rhythmically move the time. So that's a big thing I love to do is like, I'll probably put 2 delays on 2, put my next delay on so that it just messes with it more and makes more space. And then, yeah, I just go like, like more like, maybe like polyrhythms or polymeters in particular. What made me really happy with those is like, if I get into, I guess it wouldn't be a polymeter if it's just free form, but like, and not necessarily a polyrhythm, the one I do is, but just like doing rhythms that aren't in the drum solo, which kind of keep a rhythm going while Henry's doing whatever he wants, but it's like a pitched, weird delay rhythm. It's really fun. I love to do that. It's great. And then maybe do like Gianni's saying, like not a harmonic, but just like a big note. And then leave some space. Then go back to the delay, Love it. I love that,
Nice. Another one I have written down was TV with your like little delays and feedback noises that you would make.
Oh yeah.
I think that one was kind of unique.
Yeah, it's funny, we haven't played that live in a sec. But yeah, that's mainly, I'll alternate between the delay, the Rainbow Machine, and the distortion with some feedback. So it might sound something like this. Like I don't want every break to sound the same.
Yeah.
So I'll use a different pedal in between, So it'll be like it didn't turn off there. Stuff like that. And then every once in a while, a little bit of... little pick scrape with the distortion, you know. Yeah, and it's just like it just comes back to using your tools, you know, and trying to get the most out of what you have there.
Well, Jimmy, any other questions? You got anything else?
Are you guys going to maybe do like more like longer jams in the future that are like breaking 10 minutes again or up to 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Longer jams in
Yeah.
general.
It's tough because, like, you know, we've made that happen in our live show a lot more, like extending certain songs. But unfortunately, our live show is no more. So we're trying to figure out how to like make that work on a record. But we just recently did this song where, you know, for the next record that we're writing, where the song happens and then it like does this big rock ending where we all freak out, and then it goes into this nice long like 5-minute kind of motoric jam. So there should be more of that coming your way sometime soon.
Thank you guys. We've made it to the end of Odds and Ends episode number 2. We got Naked Giants up here with special guest Jimmy Mercado from Favor. Also, I didn't even mention, shout out to Gianni because he did the audio for the intro video, which is going to be playing at the beginning of the first episode for you guys. Yeah, he helped collab, and huge thank you for that. That was amazing. He totally got the idea that I threw at him. I was like, this is my idea. And he took it from there. But, yeah.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, but if there's anything else you guys want to plug.
Yeah, listen to the
pretty
Shadow. Good. Thanks for having us. Yeah, it's all good.
And you guys can find everything. I'll put everything in the description below. Links to everything, their music, Odds and Ends. Follow us at oddsandends_show, I think it is, on Instagram. And yeah, I'll be posting some more stuff. Comment, like, subscribe, you know, do all that fancy stuff.
Be well, everybody. And be nice.
Oh yeah.
See you, Jimmy. See you, Bella. And
Yeah.
Gianni. See you later. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Later. Thanks,
Bye,
Jimmy.
Grant.
See you guys. Bye.